Okay, so let's say once we are actually kicking the enemies, we want them to be pushing back anything else that might be in its place. Yep. And it's still pretty hard to do. Okay, so once I kick them, I want them to basically push back anyone else. Okay, so how we do that? We can go onto the actual enemies. Let's pick some guys. And as we have a hitbox, we can basically assign a push box that will always show up once there is, yeah, that will basically just always show up. That's it. But once we are doing in the KO. Okay, now let's see one thing here. Okay, so let's take one of these enemies over here and let's take a look at his position. Now, the simplest way to do this, well, actually we could just say that the hurt box while we are in KO will be actually hitting them back. That's another way to do this. There's also a way we could just add a push box instead of the hit box. So for a little while it can be hitting everything in its path. So let's see one thing, however. Because this is a damage collider, we are checking on trigger render, we are checking for the team owner. Okay, you know what, I'd like to make this simpler, so I'm just going to add a new script. Let's see, where do we have this? Being controller. Let's just do a new script which is going to be pushbox. Okay, so similarly to what we were doing with the damage colliders, okay, we're going to take this on trigger render. Let's see, pushbox. And actually just make this into vertical document because we're going to be copying most of this. We don't really care if it's projectile, but we do want to care for the owner. We want to keep track of that, so you're not pushing the owner around. Okay, and then we want this, because of course we want to be hitting the head box, and all of this. Okay, and we want to keep, so if we collide with a unit controller that is not already in knockback, okay, yeah, okay, I see where we are doing something wrong here though. Maybe let's try doing it with the hurt box, you know, because we already have it on every guy we have, so should probably be the same thing. So let's do unit controller owner and owner. Oh, let's do it here. Now on trigger ender, then we do all this. We want to get all of this. Okay, and over here we're going to do a knockback. The knockback, we could just say play action or play animation. Let's call it knockback or KO, however we have it. But we need to be checking a few other things as well. So let's first check the animator. So what do we have it called? First of all, it's called knockdown front. But our player, it's called, how is it called for the player? Where is a player? Oh, it's down here. For our player, it's called knockdown front. Okay, the player needs to change a little bit, so we're going to have to do this via a different method. Okay, so let's do this via that then. We'll do unit controller, and let's close this, don't need it. Take player. Okay, on hit this combo. Okay, so public void on push, and I'm just going to pass the transform, or we can pass the actual controller for the pusher. Okay, then from that we could just take the direction between our own transform position. Okay, and that will be useful for what we are doing. And let's see what else do we want to do here. Just looking from behind. Yeah, technically this also will work. Or you know what? Why not just have an action data just for the knockback? I think that will just make the life much easier. Yeah, that will be much better. Okay, so we're going to go on our manager script. Let's see how we call this. Do we have anything that we are sharing? We don't. Okay, let's make a fast lookup script. Just so that we can be saving some references we want to be accessing fast from anywhere we want to, and some generic references. Okay, so this will be a scriptable object. I'm going to create the asset, and then let's say public fast lookup, public static fast lookup singleton, and static fast lookup singleton. Then we do get if singleton is null, singleton, then resources dot load fast lookup, and of course we return singleton. Then that's just the singleton. We're going to be getting the instance we're going to create, and then we can have action data, the knock, or yeah, push action. So on my unit controller now, if I am pushing, let's say on push, and from who, and then we're going to do on hit, again from fast lookup, singleton push action, hitter looks left, pusher dot is looking left, and then pusher. So on the head box now, we could just do on push, and who is pushing us? The owner. And that's it. So we need to add a little bit more, however, and where that should be. Well, first of all, we need to know public bool immune to knockback. We want that. And public bool can knockback. On push then, if immune to knockback, then just return, don't do anything. If can knockback, we should be checking that on the head box. So if owner that can knockback, then return. Now the easiest way to do this without changing any of the other enemies, we could just say knockback time and we could do get return knockback time over 0. Okay, send. When we are ticking the enemy, or I guess it can be late update, we can say if knockback time greater than 0, then simply do knockback time minus time dot delta time. Now the other thing we want here is on hit, because everything is coming from the on hit method. So the KO, we can basically just say here that the KO is playing, so do knockback time for I think 0.5. Let's make it 1. Heavy is here, so that should be it actually. And of course we crash, so I'll be back in a bit. And we're back. So let's see it in action. Actually, before we see it in action, we need to go under resources and create our fast lookup. Then on our push action, the action anim doesn't matter. We're just going to set this as heavy. Okay. And then that will just force everyone to play this. We can set damage to 0. You can spawn. It's pretty much the same like any other actions we have so far. So let's try this. This will make it able for us to kick some of the other enemies around. Maybe not. That's a little bit hard to test, I guess. So let's see it a little bit more in action. So head box. Oh, knockback is over here. Okay. So let's do debug log, looking for knockback. Let's see if that actually even runs. And even if here Let's do push. Let's expand these guys a little bit more. I guess I'll just put this guy over here and over here. And I'm going to make my grab attack to actually not cause any damage. Let's see, where are we doing this? In player actions. Yeah, so I'm going to make this to do 0 damage so I can actually knock them out and test this. Play. Let's make this full screen and then see what's going to do. Oh, aren't we closing? I think we're closing the hitbox, the headbox. I think we're closing the headbox. Although this is running. Anyway, let's check this then with the animator. Where is the KO? Knockdown front. Yeah. We indeed close the headbox. So this will open. At least till here, it should probably be open. So technically, we didn't save a lot of things. We could just use the push box, but anyway, I think that will make it work at least. Let's test it out. Luckily, we don't have. Oops, what's this? This up. You weren't going. That doesn't work. I'm going to try and see why it doesn't work. But it's going to be a little bit hard once they are. Well, there are so many. Yeah, that's pretty hard to oh, we missed it. Let's see. It's this guy over here. His headbox is what? Is active. His controller is not immune to knockback. Let's make this debug free. Knockback time is already at 0. And knockback time is not actually working, from what I can see. Maybe it's because we're doing this with a grab, because that seemed to work later. So let's see. What's that? Grab hit. Maybe that's it. Or no, this is the one. Maybe we do bounce as well. Grab 4, grab a 1. Okay, that's not it. Okay, let's say knockback time is 3 up front. Although we're never coming in here, we never see the push. We'll see. Arguably, if we were doing this with the knockback box, it should have been faster. Yeah, it never happens. Maybe it's because of player actions, grab attack. Aha. It's grab hit. Okay. That's what we're doing wrong. And we were using the wrong call, I guess. So over here, if he is, hold on, if it's grab hit, okay, we'll do knockback time to 3. Yeah, because it doesn't fall into any of these 3 categories, because we are also doing an override. Of course, 3 is way too much, but now we should be able to do this. Have to get up. Nope, didn't work. Well, this seems to be working, but I'm not sure if I'm the one hitting them or they hit themselves. Yeah, that doesn't work. Damn it. I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Okay, let's try this in a different way. We're going to have to debug this anyway, so let's do this now. It's something we want to add. So I'm going to disable one of these guys. I'll place them by myself, be in line. Okay, so this guy then, is he over there? No, he's over here. So this guy then, okay, that's the correct one. His health box is like this. Let's make it like this, or like this. Okay, there's no way he's not going to be visible now. She's not going to be hitting this guy. I'm going to make this guy freeze, so I'm going to disable his AI path, all of that. Probably might throw some errors, but we'll see. So once I kick him now, there was no way he couldn't have missed that. So there's something going on in here. Now, that's weird. Let's do back. Actually, I'm just going to do and attach to this, so we see it like this. I'm going to change the head boxes from every one of these guys to have it be 16. Oh, and none of these were triggered actually. Oh, that's probably what was. None of them were triggered yet. See, that was stupid. I think now this will all be behaving properly. You can see that this got paused, so at least we're going in there. Let's see. Yeah, I think that okay, they start working, but of course they behave a little bit differently. Let's try this again with the proper size. Why are they? For some reason they avoid each other now. Oh yeah, you can see that it does work because they just bounce all over the place. And I think they bounce because this guy is left at is dead, but he's still doing the knockbacks. This guy in particularly, we can check that easily. We can check that because we know there is a head box in here. So disabling that. What did it do? Nothing. Okay, then they are bouncing off my controller. Or what? What are they bouncing off? Let's put a breakpoint then. And we're going to do the on push. Owners can knock back. Can knock back is greater than 0. Somebody is higher than 0. Actually, before we do that, let's just close. Let's just fix the timers. And we'll do 1. Maybe 1 is even too much, but we'll see. Okay, so now there should be some proper behavior. We are running 30 minutes, unfortunately, but can't do much. That's how things work. Okay. Why are you not getting enclosement? Why are they doing this? Okay, so let's say, yeah, we just need to add a little bit more to this, I guess. So if knockback time is greater than 0, then return. Okay, If you are already in Knockback, then you don't need to be changing it again. I'd say I'm just going to be controlling it from one place. Okay, and that probably has all the variables. Let's check the phase. So there's nowhere with more than with a huge collider. I think that should be looking good, unless one is too much as well. No, it isn't. Okay, drop this in here, and okay, let's test this one out once more. I don't know why that guy is being stuck up there, but you can live with it. I'm not sure why they are being well, that works. It's fun to look at, but it's not the behavior we want. So let's select this guy. Which one did we have now? Those gizmos. I think this is the guy. Yeah, this is the guy. And let's see his setting. His knockback time is lower than 0. Then that means he is not going to be able to throw around the other guys. But he did. Or at least someone did. This guy is of course able to be pushing them. Not sure how this guy got pushed now. And by whom? Unless we are the ones pushing him. I don't see why. Because we are at 0. So all these guys now. Oh, are they? No, will not be. Only this guy is active. It's just immediately being pushed. Let's go step by step to see this. So the moment he gets up, he's actually being knocked back. By whom? That's very weird. What is happening? Yeah, okay, that's very hard to debug. So you know what, we're not going to be doing any of this. We'll just go with the original plan to make a push box. So let's delete this one. We don't want the new, and let's just start deleting some stuff we don't need now. Okay, then on our push box, we don't want any of this. Actually, this is on our head box, we don't need it at all. We don't need the owner. Then where's our push box? Controller, push box, then on trigger ender, 2D. Where's the damage collider? When we need it. Don't have it. Yeah, okay, let's start copying stuff from here again. Then we don't need any of this. We don't need this. Owner will be good to have. And so basically all we want to do is, if you find somebody, then do on push, and unit controller will pass the owner. Okay, that's for the push box. So all I have to do now is, let's make a brief about of this guy. So we're basically going to say this would be our push box. And let's make this as normal. Then we want this to be trigger. Yeah, remove the hitbox, add a push box. That's all. And then we need to assign, we need to be keyframe this to the animation. That's all. Then I'm going to delete the other units and I'm going to call this nm prefab1. Let's change the animations. Then on what is the bounce, and where are you? Attack one, bounce. Bounce probably can do this as well, and knockdown front can do this as well. So from here you could enable the push box up till here. I guess you can have the push box enabled. Then on bounce, from bounce goes up, I guess. From here, once you're going down till here, you can enable also the push box. Let's say throw, don't need it. Grab hit, grab idle, vanish. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, let's make this into prefab, and then prefab1, and let's put it under phases. I'm just going to make them move in line so we can do this easily. Okay, let's test it out, and I think we're going to end the video after this because it's getting too long. Of course, we have to add the push box on all the other units as well, on all the other enemies. Yeah, that kind of works, but you can see they are kept in a loop and it's also pushing us away. But at least it's now more consistent. So basically what we need to do now is say, or trigger, when we are immune to knockback. So we can do that from the animator. Let's open up one animator though. And we'll see, immune KB, and then we can just basically control it from here. Yes. Either that, or we could just say, you know what? We could just say, if you're interacting, return. That will cover most of the cases. It won't allow you to interrupt, however, actions you're doing to be knocked back. So you might want that for enemies. We'll see. Okay, so what I will change is to basically change the opposite on pushback. I'll just say the opposite of the pusher. So they both look at the correct rotation. And voila, now it's working fine. And we can make it like a bowling. Like a bowling game. Awesome. And of course, oops, what's this? I think we keep the grab box enabled on idle. Either that or something else going on. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much how you can add the pushback. Let's see what this is for. This is for the okay, we can just get rid of this. Well, the dog we want to, the other ones, I'm just going to disable them for now. Anyway, so that's it for this part. We now have pushback. Unfortunately, we had to go via a bit of confusing way to do this, but then we eventually did it. Anyway, so I'll see you on the next one.